So we have a tropical storm coming through, Tropical Storm Isaias. Um, we've got flash flood warnings still right now, but it's really more for downhill from me. I'm more uphill. Um, I secured the garden as best I could. The beans came through okay, though they've got something eating them, and I don't know what it is. I just take these two leaves off because they're the only ones with damage. Like, I couldn't see anything on them. Oh, they're not the only ones with damage. I'll get rid of this one too. But I couldn't find anything on any of the other leaves either when I looked yesterday before the rain came. That's a nice breeze. It's been really hot lately, so as much as I hate tropical storms, it's cooled everything down. Well, there is a couple more leaves with holes in them, but I'm not going to deal with those right now. Over here, the storm knocked over the cucumber. It's semi-good because I had no idea this cucumber was growing, so we're going to go ahead and get that bad boy. Sorry, little jumping spider. So, got a cucumber here. Set it down over by the door. And we'll see if we can't... Whoop. Whoop. Okay, it's fine. See if we can't fix our cucumber friend and his collapsed cage here. I can't do that holding this. So let's do this. Let's see. Okay. So I wasn't able to prop it up while I fixed it, but it's up again. So the plant looks like it's mostly okay, a little bit squished. It might bounce back, it might not. Whichever one it is, I guess it's fine. Since we are over here, I'll just take care of this side even though it's kind of noisy, sorry. So down here is my potatoes. The way that I am doing them is there's a little bit of dirt in the bottom of that pot. I put the potatoes on top of the dirt, and then I put hay on top of the potatoes. And as the potatoes start peeking out of the hay, I'll just pile more hay on until the whole bag is full. And then in a couple months, I should have some potatoes, if it all works out. It might not because we're about to have rain for literally a week and a half due to this storm. And that might end up rotting the potatoes because they can't dry out. But this pot has red potatoes in it. There's one over here. That green one over there. That one has gold potatoes in it. That's the only two potato pots that I've got. But I'm giving it another try. Oh, good. The AC turned off. So this is our cucumber. I am going to have to maybe grab some of the extra stakes to help stabilize this thing so that when the next rains come through, it doesn't get knocked over again. Because I was pretty shocked when I came out to see it on the ground. The sweet dumpling melon that I have growing next to the cucumber is starting to really take off. We'll see if that gets drowned out. All of these plants are in danger of being drowned out, by the way, because too much water will rot their roots and then they'll all die. And that would suck. But, you know, that's what happens when tropical storms happen. These are the blueberry plants. There is some kind of like leaf rust or something going on here, but it is starting to look a little bit better. I took a little bit of the mulch out in case there was too much of it in, and that seems to have helped. So that's good. The zinnias are very tall now. They are not making flower heads yet, but they're very tall. The Sweet William, or what I assume is Sweet William, since that's what I planted in the back, is not really going anywhere. Probably because it's being blocked out by the zinnias, which is fine. That red shiso there has really started going crazy, so I'm going to have to harvest from that soon. I want to cook chicken with it tonight, so I'll probably do that this morning. My dill has gotten a lot bigger. That thyme looks a little bit sickly, but it's on the side that gets a lot of the wind from the AC, so that's probably why. There's more thyme on the other side of that. This pepper got knocked over, but this pot that it's in isn't really deep enough for me to put a like good support in, because all of my supports are really tall. So I'll have to figure something out. Like, I don't know what to do about that, but we'll figure something out. So here's the new supports for the really tall tomatoes. There is plenty of room for them to get taller. That'll be good. This is, again, the Japanese black trifle. Hasn't really set any new tomatoes since the two that were stolen and the one that I took off. But it's got some buds here, some little blossoms. So we'll see if those get fertilized, or I'm sorry, not fertilized, pollinated and turn into tomatoes. Here is the grape. As crazy as ever. It's doing pretty good. It looks like it got pulled out a little bit. So let's move that a little bit in. There we go. Okay. So that is back. I might turn that the other way. Like, I have it set up so that there's a gap between the cucumber here and the grapes here so that they don't grab each other, but for the storm I might turn it the other way because I think it might have a better chance with the wind. It's pretty broad at catching the wind here. And you can see in there the strings that it's growing along, or supposed to be growing along, but it doesn't like to grab onto because it's gone super high, so those lower strings haven't been really utilized. This is the raspberry. It has a new support as well because I was very worried about it in the storm. And we got it in just in time too, because this thing would have been beat all to hell, this big stalk. There is something eating it, but it's not doing enough damage for me to be that worried. So I'll look into pest control on raspberries and what eats them, but for right now I'm not too worried. But look at all these little shoots down here. A whole bunch of them are just going off to the side there on the edge of the pot. So that's going to be nice and full next year. And the grapes keep getting little mushrooms in them because of the compost, which is kind of neat. Alright, to the tomatoes. So we came out and secured the tomatoes a little bit more yesterday. We picked any cucumbers that there were. We didn't really see a whole lot of them. Like I said, the cucumbers aren't producing as much as they used to. Off of the bike. Up here. Come on. If you're going to grow in this direction, you're going to grow in the proper spot. Sorry. Through the hole. There we go. It has started this new vine, though I'm not sure which cucumber this is, but there's a bunch of tiny little ones on it, so I don't want to get rid of the vine. The replacement cucumbers are growing in pretty good for whenever this one dies off. If they get big enough before it dies off, I think I'll probably transfer them into a new pot and see about maybe setting up another trellis for them. This is supposed to help keep squirrels away, but it fell over in the storm. I'm probably just going to leave it until all of the rain is done, just because it's a little bit of a hassle to fix, and it's wet, and I don't really want to get super wet. As you can see, it's really windy right now. This is the peppers that we got out of the Lidl peppers. I can't tell if it's forming peppers or if those are more flower buds. Yep, there you go. I can't tell if they are forming peppers or if that's more flower buds. That might just be flower buds. But either way, it's doing pretty good. I moved it over here because all the pollinators were over here and the flowers were just falling off the pepper without being pollinated. My green onions behind it are looking amazing, especially after all this rain. This is the asparagus. It has gotten very tall. It's almost as tall as I am. And that is a little Brandywine black tomato that is growing in the asparagus pot. They are supposedly good plants to grow together. This is another pepper. This one is also from Lidl. That one's got something eating it, and we've come out a couple times with a black light to try and see if it's a hornworm, but we can't find whatever is eating it. We pulled a couple hornworms off of the tomatoes. Like you can see right here, that's hornworm damage. And there were two really big ones and one really small one. And we've come out periodically with the black light to try and find any more, and we haven't seen any other hornworms, and we haven't seen any more damage. So here's to hoping that the hornworms are done. Just picked this. I'm going to eat it. It's so good. The Japanese black trifle. I've picked a couple red ones off of this and some that weren't quite ripe yet to ripen in the house. And then two more of those tomatoes. They are mystery tomatoes. I don't remember what they are. They were in a cup in my kitchen making roots, but they came off of multiple different plants. So I don't know which one is which. So I'll find out once they start producing tomatoes, and then we'll know. The black Brandywine has gotten very tall, but it has set new fruit, and it's got a whole bunch of blossoms on it. So, yeah, let's see, new fruit. So hopefully we get something good out of that. My green onions on this side are also looking good. That is the, sweet bush melons. I still have not pulled one out. I'm gonna have to do that soon, like very soon. I might put it in here. But the weather, maybe I'll get to that today. It'd be good if I can do that. Like, I have a bunch of work that I have to get done at work, but maybe I can get to that today. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this cucumber because it is ready to go. There's that smaller one there. A little one in there. We've got a couple of little cucumbers growing. The white cucumber keeps producing like deformed fruit that are like really big on the blossom end. And supposedly that's because of poor pollination, but I don't know because the bees are always all over it. So this is the garden after a big storm. You saw that was knocked over, picked it back up. We're about to get a whole bunch more big storms, so hopefully nothing else gets knocked over. But yeah, thank you for coming out with me to look through the garden and to check on it. This is a hyacinth, by the way. As you can see, the leaves of it have died at this point, but it is sprouting new leaves. So I may put it where it's got a little bit more cover so it's not flooded. And my chives, the other herbs here, it looks like the coriander has sprouted, but the sage has not. So anyway, pick up that one. Oh, by the way, slicing cucumber is the big one, pickling cucumber is the smaller one. I don't usually let the slicing cucumbers get as big as this because I like them smaller, like the flavor is better, but this will still taste good. So thanks for hanging out with me in the garden, you guys, and I'll see you all next week.